Jai Hind everyone. My name is Anju Joon. I am the faculty of IT department in AKG EC Engineering College. Today I will introduce you about the computer organization and architecture. So let's start. I will start with the introduction of computer organization and architecture separately. Then we will differentiate between organization and architecture. So basically, first I will talk about the computer architecture. Computer architecture basically deals with giving operational attribute of the computer or processor to be specific. It deals with the detail like physical memory. ISA means instruction set architecture of the processor and the number of bits used to represent the data type, input output mechanism and technique for addressing memory. What does it mean? Means architecture basically tells us how the components will communicate with each other and how it will all over, means as a unit it will take the input and process and give you the output. But when we will talk about the particular parts which will communicate with each other to perform the specific task, and those components comes under the computer organization. So basically, computer organization is the realization of what is a specific of by the computer architecture, and it deals with how operational attributes which was defined by the computer architecture are linked together to meet the requirement of a specific by computer architecture. As I told you, in the computer architecture, basically we got to know what to do, how it is do what the system will do, but how it will be done or how it is being doing, it is done by computer organization. So some organizational attributes are like hardware details, control signals, peripheral devices. So those comes to the computer organization. So basically we can say computer architecture tells us what to do, but computer organization tells us to achieve that what to do, how to do it. So it will be the so there is a computer organization and it is the computer architecture, as you can see, and it is the difference between two. So first difference which is written over here is how to do, okay, and means how you will do, that is defined by computer organization. But what to do as it will be told by architecture, computer architecture. So first main difference will be this one, and another one will be oftenly computer organization we call it micro architecture. In instead of, if somewhere it is mentioned micro architecture in place of computer architecture, we can say that the person is talking about computer organization. And the computer architecture, as I'm saying, that often called micro. So we can say the micro part means the main architecture is called the computer architecture. Now, computer organization is basically transparent from programmer. Like example, a programmer does not worry about how addition is implemented. He will not be worried about the how the addition is implemented in hardware. It is not it's a headache. But the programmer view in computer architecture has to be aware of which instruction set to be used. Okay, so here he needs to be aware of the about instruction sets. Now, next one will be the physical components like circuit design, adders, signals, peripheral devices. Though they are called computer organization, whereas logic, instruction set, addressing mode, which we will study further, like 0 addressing mode, 1, 2, 3 and assembly, we will study that further in computer organizations. So he needs to, it contains addressing mode, data types, cache optimization, though they all comes under the computer architecture. Now, we will, when we are talking about the computer architecture or the organization or about the computers, we need to understand the components, or we can say the functional units, which perform certain kind of the task. Okay, so in functional unit, as you can see, it is divided into the input output devices. Means first component will be the your input output the second will be memory, and the third one will be your CPU part. We can say the CPU also. We can say it as a CPU also. So basically, what is CPU? CPU is the brain of the computer. We all know about it, that the CPU is the brain of the computer. Whatever the thing is being done in the computer, it is controlled by CPU. Main function is performed by CPU. CPU is the brain, means all process, like our body, we are moving this hand, it is controlled by our mind because it is sending the signal. Okay, that signal is transmitted to my hand that I need to move it like this. Okay, same thing CPU will do. It will send the signal. Okay, what to do, means to read the data, to write the data or something, that is being controlled by control unit. Those signal will be sent by control unit. And whereas the operation to perform on the operands, what operator need to be applied and how the operation will be performed on those two operands, that is being done by arithmetic logic unit. Okay, and the memory is the part where the data is being stored, or we fetch the data from here and we store the data to memory. So memory play the main part because we need a platform, or we can say we need a space where our instruction can execute and we can perform the operation. Same thing, we need input, right? We do have mouse, we click, that click is the event which we are giving as an input to the computer to perform the same. Means there is an application, suppose YouTube application, and I want to play the YouTube application, so I will double click. That double click is basically the input through your mouse that will be transmitted to our means there will be a bus line through which it will communicate, and then it will get the input, and then it will go to our CPU, and there it will understand, yes, I need to open YouTube application. So wherever it is stored in the main memory, it will fetch and start playing it on local memory. In the main memory, here it will start executing, and we will start using our application as it will start running. Same thing, we are getting output, means when we are clicking, we are seeing something on the monitor. That monitor is the output device where the user is getting desired output, means what it want. If I'm clicking on the YouTube and the YouTube is playing, how I will get to know that the YouTube is being played? So that is shown on the memory, monitor. So it will be shown on that monitor is our output devices. Okay, so let's move to the next point, which is very important. As I told you, input device, the source program, high level language program, coded information, simple data is fed to the computer through input device keyboard is the most common type, right? Whenever a key is pressed, one corresponding word or number is translated into binary code. As we know, computer understand only 0 or 1 binary number. Okay, so we know that there is a high level language whatever we are performing through the keyboard, because as a human we are using our own language, right? The combination of the alphabets means words, but it is not being understood by the computer. Computer understand only 0 or 1. So there will be a translator who will basically convert our high level language to the machine language. So whenever we are sending any input, it will be first converted into binary code over the cable and fed either to memory or to the processor. Means it could be that it need to be stored to the memory, so it will take and store in the memory, or it will go to the process to process it on the same time, and then executing it and providing the output. And what are the examples? Like joystick, trackball, mouse, scanner, those are called our input devices. Same thing comes for the memory unit. Memory, its function is basically to store the programs or the data. Two types के हमारे होते हैं. First is the primary memory and secondary is the secondary memory. We know about it about the primary memory and the secondary memory. Now the next point which is important is the arithmetic logic unit. As I told you, the operations which is performed, mathematical equations or programs which need to be executed, that is done by arithmetic logic unit basically. So most of the computer operators are executed in ALU, arithmetic logic unit of the processor, like addition हुआ हमारा, subtraction हुआ, division, multiplication, those all are performed by ALU. The operator, first of all, whenever we want to perform our mathematical equations like add, subtract or divide, so first suppose there is a, I want to do A plus B. So it is basically three parts. One, operand 1, operand 2, and this is the operator. So it will be first fetch from the memory operands or taken from the input, user. Means if the user is giving through the keyboard, or maybe it is stored in the main memory. So it will fetch these first two operations, then the ALU will fetch operator. The operator I need to perform here is the addition. So addition will be fetched, and this operator will be applied on these two operands, and it will be processed in the CPU, and then the output will be given to the output devices, and that will be shown to our output to the user through the output devices. Okay. So these are done by ALU. So here it is written like this: the operand are brought into the ALU from the memory and stored in high speed storage element. Maybe it is in a CPU. CPU does have its own register to store the initial values of the instruction or intermediate state. So we call it accumulator register, which we will study further. So, and then after fetching, it will perform the operation in a required sequence. Next will be the output unit. Output unit through which the user is getting its his or her output. So those are called output unit. And the main important thing in a CPU is the control unit. It is basically, as we are calling CPU is the brain of the memory, so we can say control unit, it effectively is the nerve center that sends signal to other unit, like our brains. Our brain also does have nerves, and those nerves, through using those nerves, the signal is being sent to our other part of the body, right? So same thing is happening here. Control unit is basically that nerve which is sending the signal to the other part of the computer to perform the operations. So here is a block diagram of the computer. The data will be sent, it will be taken through the input unit. Then here it will go to the storage memory. Either it will be stored, or the control unit will call it, means the CPU will call it using the control unit. Maybe the data which is required to process instruction, it is stored in the memory. So it could be that it is taking from the primary memory, main memory, or the secondary memory, like our magnetic disk, or whichever is the extended memory. So maybe, or it is taking through the keyboard or mouse, certain input devices. So it will be taken here, and the CPU will perform the operation. Once the operation is being completed, it could be that we don't want the output as a means not taking out the printout, right? But stored in the memory. So it will send back to the memory, or it could be that we want to print this document while I am writing something. Okay, the CPU is taking the word from me, and then I am giving the print command. So the output will be given directly to the user, right? So here it will be printing, means output unit. Either it will be saved to the memory, or it will be going to the printer. Like I'm just editing on a document. So if I'm doing the save, so it is going back to the memory where it is located, and it will be saved. Or it could be that I'm giving the print command, and it is being printed. So I'm getting output through the output unit. Now to here I will take an example, means like I have taken an example, add location A, and there is a register RO, R0. We call in computer organization, we will say R0. Okay. So there is an example, add. Add is the operation which is need to be performed, and there are two operands like location A and R0. So how it will be performed? As it will go to the CPU, it will break it down. It knows that that is being controlled by ALU. ALU will perform the add. But on which operand? I need the operand. Okay, so there are two operands. One is the location. It is basically an address to operand 1. Okay, and R0 is a register which is having value of operand 2. Okay. So it will first location A, it will go to this address. It is a address, right? So we cannot perform on the address. We need the data to perform the operation, right? To add. So I will fetch that operand, that value or that data from this particular address. Okay. Suppose it is 2. And then it will take the value from R0 register, which is stored, suppose the value 5. Now I got 2 operands. Now it will perform the operation add. The ALU will apply the operator that is called add, and it will give you the answer 7. Now here comes one more question, where it will be stored. As we will study further the address formats, we will study address modes, then we will understand it that it is saying to store the data into R0. So it will be stored in register R0. So this is how the operation will be performed. Whenever the instruction is given, it will break it down and it will fetch the operands, then it will perform the operations. The operation is here is the add, which will be performed by ALU, and there is a one is given the address and one is given the data, which is stored in R0. Here we need to fetch the data from this address. We will fetch the operand. The value is 2, suppose. Okay. Now register. What is register? It is a special high-end storage area within the CPU. All data must be represented in a data register before it can be processed. We need something to store the data. So we say that we do have high-speed storage area in the memory or the CPU, which is called registers. Okay. For example, if 2 numbers are to be multiplied, both numbers must be in register and the result is also placed in the register, as we have seen the example in previous slide. Now here are the types of the register. First is the accumulator. As I told you, within the CPU, I am saying that ALU is performing the arithmetic equations or the operations on operand. So first the initial value I need to take, right? So I will take those data in, bring those data into CPU, right? To store those operands into the CPU, the register is used, is called accumulator. Okay. Store initial data, intermediate data or result of the calculations. So CPU will have its own register where it will first bring the operand, and then on those operands, on those register, the CPU or ALU will perform the operation and they will process the instruction. So those registers are called accumulator, right? Now second comes the program counter. So what basically program counter does, the keep track of the memory location of the next instruction to be fetched by automatically incrementing itself. Suppose I do have a memory and these are the address 0, 1, 2, 3. So I am executing this, right? Now to increase the speed, I need something to take a tab on the how many instruction I have executed, which instruction is currently being executed and which instruction next to be executed. So I will use the concept of program counter. As we have seen in the mall also, the guard is standing with a clock. It is tabbing 1, 2, 3. It is he is basically counting how many customer has entered to my shop, right? Same here. This is being executed by the CPU. Next, the CPU will execute suppose 1. So who will tell it what will be the next address? So we will use program counter. So once it will start executing, the PC will be updated PC plus 1. So 0 plus 1. Now it will start pointing to 1. So when the CPU will finish executing this instruction, it automatically go to the PC. Now PC value is 1 and it will start executing 1. Now memory address register, it store the memory location of the instruction that need to be fetched from the memory. It will store the address, right? Now what is memory buffer or MDR? MDR is memory data register. It will store the data which is residing at that address, or it will store, it will give you the data. Next is instruction register. What is instruction? It is store most recently fetched instruction while it is waiting to be coded and executed. It is means we can say that it is having all resources. It is waiting for its execution. That CPU will take it and start executing. There is no resources which is not being allocated. It is in a ready state. Once the CPU will commit, it will start executing directly. Now instruction buffer, the instruction that is not being executed immediately. Previously I am saying it will start executing immediately, waiting, but which is not to be executed immediately, it will be placed in instruction buffer register. Once it will be ready, in next it need to be executed, it will go to instruction register. Now input output register specify the address of a particular input output device. If I am having 2 or 3, so it will store the address of those 3 and contain the address of input output devices. Next is input output buffer. It used for exchanging the data. As I am telling you, is a register store the data for on which we can perform the operations by CPU. So those registers are called input output buffer register. Next one is stack control, used to manage the stack in the memory, which we will study further in chapters. Then is the flag register, indicate the occurrence of certain condition during the operation of CLU. Suppose I am just using a flag if there is a condition which cannot be handled by CPU. So what will happen if maybe it is going to the infinite loop, or maybe there are some hardware problem. So I will use a flag which will indicate me, yes, there is a problem and I can go and check. Data register basically used in microcomputer to temporarily store the data. I hope you understood what I have taught today, and I'm clear the concept of computer organization, the difference between computer organization and architecture, and then we studied about the functional units or the component of computer. I have taken an example also where I told you how it will fetch and execute. Next we studied register and types of register.